Welcome to Reread. Today I'm talking about Isard's Revenge, book, what is this, 8 now of the Rogue Squadron series. Michael Stackpole is back. This happens right after. It takes place during the last battle with Thrawn, and then suddenly they see everyone retreating. They don't know what happened. And Wedge is finally promoted to general. He doesn't want to be a general. In fact, they mentioned the bet from Race Squadron that he doesn't have to be a general if Race Squadron works out. But Akbar just reminds them, hey, look, we need generals, we need leaders like you. You'll still be able to lead, get in your cockpit and lead Rogue Squadron. But how he convinces Wedge this time, which I thought was really smart and makes sense, is that he says, hey, look, we've tried to give promotions to your entire Rogue Squadron team, but they refuse to take it because you're not taking your promotion. And of course, when it's hindering the careers of Wedge's men, who he cares about most, he went, oh, okay, then I'll take it. And he kind of wins. He said, how long did it take you to figure that out, Akbar, that I care about my men? He went, not hard. He said, because when I told your whole team about it, they really liked the idea. So I really like that. And now Wedge is a general. He gets to sit in the general's, the upper management seat. Like, I think when he walks to a meeting room, he's sitting in his old spot, and and Admiral Akbar goes, General, you sit up here. He went, oh, thanks for correcting me. He said, I wasn't correcting you, General. I was informing you. Because now we're peers now. And I really like how they kind of transition General Wedge. Another thing I really liked was Asyr and Gavin's relationship. They really focus on it at the beginning. They're wanting to get married now and have kids. And it's a really good dialogue between the two. I'll just go ahead and just give her story out of the way. Borsfila basically corners her and says, hey, you're not going to marry a human. It's not going to happen this way. You need to give us heirs. They want to be controlling, since she's such a popular Bothan. They want her to have, marry another Bothan, any Bothan, and have Bothan children, and kind of use their children as political assets in the New Republic. She doesn't want that. So when the opportunity comes to fake her death, because her X-wing gets blown up and everyone thinks she's dead, she actually survives. But doesn't have, I think, Iela, I don't know how to pronounce her name, don't care either. And she finds her, we find this out at the very end. The whole time you think she's dead. And Gavin mourns her for like one chapter, and then we don't see Gavin that much, which is kind of sad. But anyway, at the end, Asyr just says, hey, look, keep my death a secret. Let people think I'm dead. Even Gavin, I do not want our lives being meddled with by the Bothans. I don't want, my name, if I take out Borsfila, several other Bothans will rise up against me, and I don't want that. I don't want that, for me. I don't want that for our legacy, because if she even warns Gavin, if they adopt children, she wants to adopt a Bothan child, but Borsfila and the entire Bothan society is going to try to maneuver that child and jockey him into political. He's going to be used as a political, pawn, basically. And she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that for Gavin either. So she moves on, and Gavin never knows that she's alive. Now, someone's going to tell me in the comments, I don't even remember if this is picked up later on. I kind of have forgotten a lot about Gavin Darklighter. I mean, I know the character, but I kind of don't know where this is going. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine to have a little surprise in there. It's okay not to know everything or some of the details the second time around. But a lot of the regulars are back in this. There's a lot of good stuff going on this mission, where basically there's someone now, his name is Prince Admiral Crennall. And he self-promoted himself. And now that Thrawn is gone, he decides that he's going to try to he's going to be the big baddie. And the rebellion knows that they, now that Thrawn's been defeated, and this is one thing I don't get, they say, oh, we've had reports that Thrawn died. Now we're going to go after the next big fish, which is Prince Admiral Crennall, and here's his dossier. You're like, wait. No, Rogue Squadron would continue to pursue after Pelion and his group to ensure that Thrawn isn't just injured. In fact, they even speculate, did he die or not? But then they just leave it alone and move on to someone else. No, Thrawn is still, if there's a possibility he's still alive, just like Isard, because they said they kind of pursued where after Isard died in the last X-Wing book, they pursued to find those prisoners of the Lysenko, but couldn't ever find them. So why not pursue and make sure and verify that Thrawn is dead. I kind of think Stackpole messed up here. I didn't realize this the first time I read it through, but now looking at it, that doesn't make any sense. They can't go by a rumor or speculation. They need to make sure. If Thrawn is such a big threat, like we're told a million times after this series, that he was one of the biggest threats. He almost tipped the balance, killed the New Republic right as it got started. Thrawn came the closest. Okay, well, you need to make sure he's dead. And they didn't do that. They just go to Prince Admiral Crennall. Crennall's an okay villain. Of course, Isard is there, kind of pulling the strings with him and using his fleet, his name, his worlds, his territory as bait to capture Rogue Squadron. In fact, she's obsessed with Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron is the key. Once you defeat Rogue Squadron, the whole New Republic will fall. And I was thinking, okay, well, Thrawn didn't think Rogue Squadron was that important. He never talked about Rogue Squadron. I get it. You're saying Yasan Isard is Rogue Squadron's nemesis, so she's got to go after Rogue Squadron as her arch nemesis. I get that, but saying this is the key, no, it's not. No, it's not. Thrawn never thought. I mean, I'm sure he respected Rogue Squadron, knew they were a threat, but never thought, if I can just defeat Rogue Squadron, then I've won. And for some reason, insane Isard thinks this is good. Now, later on, after the rogues, get trapped in an ambush by Isard, they get rescued by this mysterious team, and they bring them back to the real Yasan Isard, who says, hey, that one who's working with Prince Admiral Crennall is a clone. She's my clone, and I want you to destroy that clone, and we're going to take out Crennall. She gives Wedge his old disguise as Captain Rowett, the cyborg character that Wedge played in earlier novels, and he's going to pretend to be, they got some TIE defenders, and they're going to pretend to defect to Prince Admiral Crennall and kind of, betray him on the inside and contact the New Republic to say, hey, come here at such and such a date, and then we'll turn on Crennall and defeat him. Okay, Wedge does not want to work with Yasan Isard, and there's a lot of jokes about, we thought you were dead. But he decides this is the best method that they can do for now, and they got to watch out for what is Yasan Isard's true plan. And they have this whole meeting, which every Rogue Squadron has a meeting where they deliberate and kind of think about. They kind of do a lot of dialogue on ideas of what she could be up to. But this is another problem I have with it. I thought the clone was better explained the first time through. It's not. It's not. It's a terrible idea. It's really pointless overall. It's pointless why she has a clone. The clone really, when you find out that the first Yasan Isard we read about was a clone, we never hear from her again. It's always the real Yasan Isard. Now, what was the point of the clone? There really wasn't a point to that. I guess, Stackpole was like, oh, well, since, there's a clone of Luke, and there's a clone of so-and-so, and there's a clone, maybe there's a clone of my villain too. Did a clone die in the ship? No, they're just both alive. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense, and I didn't feel it. Again, though, I did enjoy the whole series because, as a whole, the book is pretty good. Probably my least favorite from Michael Stackpole from the X-Wing series. I would say from Michael Stackpole, my least favorite is Isard's Revenge, though it's not terrible. It's not terrible. There's a lot of good humor in it. Corran does some amazing stuff, of course. His X-Wing goes down. He crashed on a planet. Wedge is so worried. He says, we got to send a rescue team to go, infiltrate that area and save him. But no, it's Corran Horn. He marches through one-man army, destroys everyone, captures the secret lab and goes, what's up? Finds out about a secret, super weapon that Crennall's working on and stuff, all by his lonesome. Oh, good for Corran Horn. I should say that at this point there were comic book characters that come back into the story. Nrin, who is the Corran from the Rogue Squadron comic book, he comes back and he's in it for a little while, which was nice. Of course, they're eventually going to get back all the prisoners at the end. Jan Jodana is back, and even though he's kind of like just a main character at the end, he gets rescued at the end and he gets to have some dialogue. I wish we could have seen some more of Jan Jodana there, but that's okay. The other thing, we find out that Yasan Isard's big plan was to get back to Lysanka, which the New Republic has been repairing since their last battle with Thrawn. She and 50 commandos are going to, take the bridge real quick and steal it while it's still in the shipyard. But Iela and Booster and Mirax have already figured out what her plan is, and they're there to set up a trap and capture her easily. And of course, Iela is going to get her revenge on Isard for killing her husband, or turning her husband into a agent, and gets to shoot her, but it was in self-defense because Yasan got off a shot and clipped her in the shoulder, of course, and she killed Isard at the end, which I guess, I know we need some closure there. Finally, there's closure at her death, which is fine. Oh, I should mention, I think I wrote this down. Oh yeah, Corn Horn, later, midway through the story, is flying the X-Wing. He goes, oh, what in the shadows of Coruscant? What in the shadows of Coruscant? I guess it's supposed to be slang for something, but I thought it was really weird. But anyway, overall, the story's fine. Like I said, it's okay. I think it is Stackpole's weakest of the X-Wing novels, but it's not bad. It's not bad. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.